Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Today in the shop, I'm going to try and make some, I am going to make some charcuterie boards. And hopefully when they're done, we'll have a good looking board with some etching in there on washing instructions and who it's made by. So if you want to find an easy Christmas present, this might be the one for you. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Today on this video, I'm going to show you how to make a custom-made charcuterie board. And we're going to use maple, walnut, and ash. And eventually, it's going to come out looking just like this. So let me take you along and show you how I made these. Okay, so after I'm done, I end up with pieces that look like this. I cut 4 of each, and I start out with 1/8 inch thick, and then I got a 1/4, and then this 3/8 and 1/2 inch, then 5/8 and 3/4, and then it goes up to 7/8 and then 1 inch, and then we get to about 1 1/4 inches. Now, do these have to be perfectly 1/8? No, but as long as they're the same increments apart, that'll work. So I don't want to have my thinnest ones on the outside, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my thicker pieces and put them like this. And then I will get a thin piece, put it like this, so that it rotates every other one. And then my next thickest piece will go here and here. Then my next thickest piece will go here and here. And then my next thickest piece, let's see, we'll go here and here. And then my next thickest piece, I'm going to go there and there. And then my next thickest piece after that will go here and here. And then my next thickest piece will go here and here. And then I have this piece here, which is a little bit thicker. But then I have to decide how I want to do this. So I'm going to put it here and here. And this is the width of my cutting board now. So as you can see, I start out with thin and go to thicker. Now that looks okay, but I'm not really 100% happy with it. I like that it goes thick and thin, but I want to change it up a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is take these two out, put these on the outside, and bring that. And I think that gives me a little better symmetry and look to the whole thing. Let me just use one of these. So as you can see, I have those long pieces of maple, but once I get them all glued together, I will just cut them off. So I like that for my pattern. So my pattern needs to be wide enough so that I can use this template, which this is the template that I'm going to use here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have a piece up at the top here that will be my edge piece. So I'll make this out of a different piece of wood and maybe a smaller one about this thick right here too. This looks like a good thickness for the base. So that way I have two different color pieces. Now I might use Paduke here. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking this all out, but I might use a piece of Paduke or something like that, but I think that gives me the width that I'm looking for. Now if I wanted to, I could actually just make it that width right there, which would work with my handle, and then get a smaller piece down here and a larger piece up there. So again, I could also make this out of walnut down here and maybe maple up here, or maple down here. Yeah, walnut up there. A lot of different options I have open to this idea. I think this is a good size right here. I think that once I get these two, I start to get a little bit too wide, although I can trim it down. Oops. But as you can see, I have enough to make 4 different cutting boards. So I'm going to make 2 this way, and I'll make 2 where once I get this all glued up, I'm going to cut small, large, and then switch them around. Do the same thing as this, only we'll make little squares out of that, and you'll see that in a little bit, or maybe even in the next video. So let me go ahead and start gluing these up and get these together and make my cutting boards, or I should say charcuterie boards, what they're actually going to be. Okay, so we're going to glue this on up, and I'm using a slow set type on glue, which allows more open time. And we're just gonna start putting these pieces in here, and I'm alternating my colors each side. Oops, this actually, yeah, should go right there. And I put my 2 widest pieces on the outside because I want the thicker pieces to be on the outside of the cutting board. But as I get closer here, I don't like this wide gap with a lot of big pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 out, close that up, and put these next widest pieces out there, or I can just go like, maybe I might do that. Next widest, and then just switch these. Had to think for a minute there, that was kind of awkward. All right, so that's the order that I want them. So I'm going to turn them up on the side so that I can get some glue on them. Now you don't need a ton of glue on there, you just need enough glue so that when you flip them, the glue will squeeze out. So as you can see, the glue that I spread here goes up against the next one that's added to it. Open time, the extra open time glue, basically is type on glue, but it's just thinned out a little bit more, it seems to me. I'm sure there's a different chemistry to it, but it's definitely a thinner glue that really makes a mess. But it does give you that extra open time. We do want that. And you just want a nice even coat all the way across there, and you see that one fits right in there. So let me get a paper towel. So I want to try and get this side all lined up as evenly as possible. So the parts that have been sitting there for a little bit, take a little bit of time. So that's nice and straight there. This one down here across here first. Just to sort of hold things in place. move these Betsy's on in. And you can see that we're getting good glue squeeze out all the way across. Whoops. I just want to get the handles out to where I can twist them. And you don't want killer pressure. You do want to make sure that everything's nice and tight. And there we go. I like the way that that looks. Go ahead and clean up this side. Now most of the time you don't want to spread the glue around like this because it does give sort of a finish onto the wood, but as I said, these are going to be sanded down to a much thinner thickness than what they are now. So I will set this down to go ahead and dry, and now we're set to wait for them to dry. Okay, so I'm going to use this good looking ash here for the top and the bottom. So it's going to go, there's going to be a small piece down here and a little bit larger piece up here. And the larger piece is going to have this handle routed out on it. So this piece would be perfect. I could make the bottom piece from here and the top piece from this part here. So they sort of match a little bit there. So first thing I want to do is cut them to the width of my boards. So I want it to be a little bit oversized, like that much oversized. Okay, so I want to make sure I cut a piece that's that width of my handle template here. So I'm just going to put that there, bring this on over, and give me a little bit of room extra here. Okay, so there's a number of ways that I can glue these on. I can make splines, cut them in there, but I'm just going to use the easy way with a biscuit joiner. I think that'll do the job. And I want a one flat edge here, which is what I ran through the sander, or the same depth every time, because we want the same depth going down from here and here and here. So I discovered that when these holes are cut, if I put my template here, it comes mighty close to those edges, which I don't want to show. So I think on my next bunch, I'm going to make these holes. I'm just going to put two. I'm going to put one here and one here, I think. So that way I have some room to do what I want with this design. Right now, I think I'll have to come out here and just sort of scallop it. Think about having the template here. So I'm labeling each one. I've already labeled these A, B, and C. And so I just label the board to match it so that I know which boards all go to it. Want to have a nice healthy coat of glue on both sides. That way I get a really good bond. And that biscuit in. Start cranking these. And the nice thing about using biscuits or anything like a spline or something here is that it lines it up pretty good. So that saves you a little bit of time. There are our cutting boards all glued up. All right, so what I've done here is I figured out where I wanted my handle to go, and I sort of drew the outline here so that I can cut that out with the bandsaw. And then I want to round this corner a little bit. So I'm just going to use this little template here just to get my line straight up along this piece of wood here to get a curve down at the bottom. Nice and simple. I mean, you could do whatever you want here. You know, maybe on the next one, I'll sort of come off here and make it round. I don't know. Now if I had a little thinner blade, I'd be able to make these corners a little better, but I'll just use sanding on that. I left an edge along here because once I tape down this template here, my router is gonna trim all that up there. So I want to leave a little bit of edge for that router to grab onto. Now we switch down to the next smaller size drill bit that I can fit in there. I have a straight bit here in the router, and it has a ball bearing top here. And I put some double-sided tape here, and I'm going to put my template down onto here. All right, so I want to match it up as close as I can to what I have here already, or what I drawn out. All right, so we got that down. And now the bearing is even with the plexiglass, so it'll bump up right against there. So as you see, this matches up with that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is sand all of my flat rounded edges here, and then this will be done with the with one of these drums here. But right now, I just want to sand that. Okay, so our final bit of thing to do on these is to round them over before we get the final sanding. Final woodworking step. Sand them down, get them nice and smooth. Oil them. We're probably going to engrave them before I oil them, and then oil them up. So I'm starting with 120, going to go to 180, and then 220 after that. All right, so our final step is to add some cutting board oil, which is I think just mineral oil. Yeah, food grade mineral oil. So we'll just cover this board with a fair amount. Spread it around, keep it wet for a little bit. Now if you have a container that you could dip it in, I've seen a lot of people do that. That would probably be rather nice. I do not have that container, or such a container I should say. So I can just keep it wet for a little while and let it soak on in. Let that soak in, then we'll wipe it all off. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. Just gonna wipe it off. All right, so that's how we went from pieces of wood, gluing them up, adding some end caps, cutting out a custom handle. Well, not a custom, it's from a template, but custom to us. And then adding a little verbiage down here at the bottom for washing instructions, who it's created by. And these make really nice gifts. Relatively easy to make, relatively inexpensive compared to other woodworking projects. So give it a try next time you're out in the shop. And if you're looking for a quick present for housewarming, Christmas gift, birthday, this might be the thing to do. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Always appreciate it when you're by the channel. Have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Always love taking questions and answering them when I can. Take care.